Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life. Overthinking kills. When you insist on making mountains out of molehills, it's only a matter of time before you start to wither on the vine. Think about this. Living a happy life isn't necessarily about eradicating all negative thoughts, but rather learning how to not allow them to steal your joy. I know sometimes that can sound completely impossible, but trust me, it's easier than you think. Today I want to dive into the art of not overthinking. We've done a few videos on this already, but I just want to reiterate some of the examples that I had set before, because these are simple yet effective strategies that can quiet your inner circle and jazz up your life a little bit. These are things we may have talked about in the past. I might have a few new things in there. The goal here is to get you thinking, not overthinking. You know what I mean? Get the wheels turning up here. Get some good recommendations going so you're thinking, you're making good decisions, and you have the right tools so you can be the best you that you can be. Let's jump in. The first thing I recommend is embracing mindfulness. Mindfulness, what's that, Doug? Well, it's a concept that originated in Buddhist meditation, but it's been adopted and studied extensively in Western philosophy and psychology, and in essence, it's the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Now, researchers suggest that practicing mindfulness meditation can enhance self-awareness, mitigate overthinking by creating distance from repetitive thoughts, and improve concentration by strengthening working memory. Now, when you're mindful, you're not replaying past mistakes or pre-living future worries. You're tuned into what's happening right here, right now, and guess what? Right now is generally a pretty peaceful place. Practicing mindfulness can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to focus on your breath, noticing each inhale and exhale without trying to change anything at all. Or take a few deep breaths, pull out your goal card, and slowly and repetitively read your goal over and over and over again. The repetitive nature of repeating a goal to your mind will allow you to implant that idea into your subconscious mind. And remember, anything we implant on the subconscious mind will immediately, in certain ways, begin to clothe itself in the most convenient way possible. Another idea somebody threw at me one time that it worked for me and I loved it. They said, Doug, why don't you set aside worry time? I'm like, well, that kind of sounds counterintuitive, Why are you suggesting I dedicate time to worry when I'm trying to avoid overthinking? And they said, no, hear me out. They said, a few years back, they had found themselves in a constant state of worry where their mind was a whirlpool of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. That can be exhausting. I totally get it. I've been there myself. The more responsibility you have, it seems like the more overthinking and the more worry that comes your way. But they said the concept is simple. Instead of letting worries infiltrate your entire day, you allocate a specific time for it. So I thought, what the heck? I gave it a shot. Every evening from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., I allowed myself to worry. And you know what? It worked. And by containing my worry to a specific half-hour window, I found that my mind was freer throughout the rest of the day. Those looming thoughts didn't vanish completely, but they were less intrusive. And the technique allowed me to regain control over my thoughts rather than letting them control me. And give it a try. You might just find it as liberating as I did. I wasn't 100% sure of it up front, but I proved it to myself over time. It's a good idea. Give it a shot. It might change things for you. The next thing I always recommend when we have a lot of anxiety and worry is to get moving. Yes. Physical exercise is one of the most effective ways to reduce overthinking. It's absolutely true. And researchers agree with me. They say that engaging in aerobic exercises like jogging, swimming, cycling, walking, gardening, and dancing have all been proven to lessen anxiety and depression. And this improvement is likely due to an increase of blood flow to the brain during exercise and its impact on the lymphatic, pituitary, adrenal axis. I got that from the internet, but when you impact that axis, it impacts your body's response to stress. So in other words, if you're struggling with stress induced by overthinking, more physical activity might just be what the doctor ordered. Be sure before you jump into any intense physical exercise that you speak to your doctor to make sure that it's right for you. But here's what we do in our house. I put YouTube music on the TV. I put on some of my kids' favorite music, and we dance, and we have fun, and we laugh. And, it's a chance for me to be a kid again. It's a chance for them to be the kids that they are. And it's a bond-building experience. So you don't have to go to the gym and lift big old weights or walk on the treadmill from here to Timbuktu. You can do things with your family that will not only enhance the relationship with those you're closest with, your home team, but also you get to listen to some music, dance around the house, and laugh. Ask yourself, when's the last time you did a little risky business? Remember that movie? And you just danced around the house and were just a little crazy. I tell you what, being a little crazy every once in a while, it works. Or as Willy Wonka said, a little nonsense now and then, entertained by the wisest of men. And I like a little nonsense every once in a while. Put some music on with the kids and we just have a great time. And exercise can also act as a form of meditation in motion. Whether you're swimming laps, going for a run, dancing around the house, repetitive motions can help quiet the mind and allow you to focus on your body's movements instead of getting lost in your thoughts. When I focus on my movements, it's a little depressing because I'm not the best dancer, but you know what? I do what I can. The windows are closed, the doors are locked, and we can just put on some music and just dance and have fun. I love spending time with my family like that. It makes me so happy. It cures my depression, makes me forget about my anxiety. Think of the amazing people that you have around you. Allow them into your life. It can change everything. The next thing I recommend if you're looking to overcome overthinking and anxiety is to practice gratitude. In our busy lives, it's so easy to overlook the positive things and focus on the negative, right? And this negativity can often lead to overthinking and unnecessary stress. Practicing gratitude is a simple way to shift your focus. When you consciously take note of the things you're thankful for, you're training your mind to pay more attention to the positive aspects of your life. Gratitude is a habit. You can build it over time. It will become more prevalent in your life the more you practice it. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you ignore all the difficult parts of your life, but it's more about acknowledging that even amidst challenges, there are still things that you can always be grateful for. And you can start with something as simple as writing down 3 things you're thankful for each day. And over time, this can help change your perspective and reduce overthinking by focusing on what's going well rather than what might go wrong. A very famous and wealthy individual once said to me, they said, "Doug, I wish I would have figured this out when I was younger." They said, when you think positively, your life becomes filled with positive things. And when you think negatively, your life is filled with negative things. Practicing gratitude allows you to focus on the positive so you can build many positive things in your life. I think that's beautiful and it's right on track. Try to stay as positive as you can. You know what? Take a few deep breaths. Read this goal card slowly over and over and over again as many times as you can each day. And I'm telling you what, it's the most powerful tool you have in your toolbox. It is the one thing that can change your life like night and day. It absolutely can, because thoughts become things, and what you put into your mind directly correlates to the outcomes you get in your life. And stay connected to others, even those in your, you have good friends, whoever you might have in your life, acquaintances. We are social creatures, human beings, and we thrive on connection and interaction with others. When we isolate ourselves, it's easy to get lost in our own thoughts, and that in turn can lead to overthinking, or it has with me. I'll get so busy with work, time just seems to go away, and I'm just so focused, but then I tend to isolate myself until the work is done, and I don't usually come out of those circumstances feeling the best. I was productive, I accomplished my tasks, and I was working towards my goal in an effective manner, yet I walk out of that circumstance when I'm all by myself for a long period of time, not feeling the greatest. And that always reminds me to stay connected with friends and family, because it offers us a different perspective. It gives us a chance to express our thoughts and feelings and gain insights from others that we might not have considered before. So while I was productive doing the right thing, walking down the path towards my goal, the actions I took were effective for that place and time and what I was attempting to work on. However, if I would have interacted with my family and those that I trust who are closest to me, they may have had some other ideas that may have helped me to get things done faster, more efficiently, or maybe just approach things from a whole new perspective, so I could have had a whole new and different positive experience. This doesn't mean you need to be surrounded by people 24/7. Even the simple phone call, a text message, or going for a walk with a friend can help break the cycle of overthinking. And remember, it's okay to ask for help and to share what you're going through with others. Don't be ashamed and don't be afraid. You're not alone in this, and reaching out to others can often provide the comfort and the clarity you need to move forward, not only in a better way, but in a more effective way. And you know what? With the help of others, sometimes we can get that little bit of assistance that helps us more easily get things done in a faster time frame. So you never know. There's lots of benefits to interacting with others, but stay connected. It can help to cut the overthinking deal and help you to feel better moving forward. It also can help you to reduce some anxiety as well, or that's what it's done for me. And be gentle with yourself. And I know what do I mean by that? What I mean is that this could be the most important recommendation that I make today. In our quest for happiness, it's crucial to remember that we're all human, and being human means that we're not perfect. And we all have moments of doubt, fear, and overthinking. That's just a part of our life. But being harsh on ourselves for these moments only adds to our stress. Instead of being hard on yourself, and remember, anything negative you say to yourself, it affects your mind and your psyche in the same way as if somebody was standing next to you and saying the exact same thing. Remember, you're listening not only to others, but to yourself as well. So instead, I recommend you try to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend in a similar situation. Talk yourself up. The next time you catch yourself overthinking, be gentle with yourself. Acknowledge what you're feeling. Remind yourself that it's okay to have these moments, and then guide your thoughts back to something more positive. You deserve kindness, especially from yourself. That's all part of you becoming the best you that you can be. You should treat yourself in the best way possible. Remember, this is the one bite we get of the apple, right? This is the one life we have. So you want to make sure you're treating yourself in the best way possible and caring for yourself in the best way as well. The better you are to you, the better you can relate to the world, and the more effectively you can work towards achieving your goals. It's absolutely true. And learn to let go. A few years ago, as an example, I found myself unable to move past a mistake. I made it work. And, it was a minor error, but in my mind, it ballooned into something colossal. You ever have that? You do something little, and when it starts out, it's just a little thing, but by the time you've thought it through, replayed all the scenarios over and over again, now the FBI is outside, and it's crazy, it was nothing in relation to any type of criminal activity, but still, we can start off with something very small, and by the time we've overthought it through, it can balloon into something colossal. And you replay the scenario over and over again. You dissect every detail, every reaction. You go through every conversation. And then I realized, what I need to do is let go. And my wife says that to me all the time. And letting go is about accepting that we cannot change the past. No amount of overthinking can alter what has already happened. All we can do is learn from our experiences and use them to grow. And when we hold on to past mistakes or worries about the future, we rob ourselves of the joy in the present moment. Now that's 100% the truth. And I want to say that one more time. I want you to think about this. When we hold on to past mistakes or worries about the future, we rob ourselves of the joy in the present moment. And that's something you need to realize. You need to be able to forgive yourself. You need to be able to use what's happened as a learning experience rather than a constant source of stress. And trust me, it'll make a world of difference to you. So remember, we all make mistakes. That's perfectly okay. They're opportunities for growth, not anchors that should hold us down or back. And learning to let go is a powerful step towards overcoming overthinking and embracing happiness. And another thing you can do, which is tough to do in this digital age, but I think is important to mindfully consider, and that's limit your information intake. One thing that's interesting for you to know about the mind is that everything you see, do, or hear is recorded in the mind. Although we don't have the conscious capacity to recall every single event, it is still recorded. Have you ever noticed somebody staring off into space? And they may be daydreaming, but if you've ever noticed somebody who's just staring off into space, that can also be a time when the brain is processing and storing information. Imagine the incredible amount of information the mind stores over time. Imagine how that information, because we cannot consciously recall it, can subconsciously impact our decisions and the actions that we take. Think about this. News, social media, emails, it's a never-ending stream of data that can easily overwhelm our minds. And while staying informed is important, too much information can lead to overthinking. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. The more hay there is, the harder it becomes, right? Or the more information we're accumulating over the course of a day, drama, all this other stuff that a lot of people tend to engage in can kind of muddy the waters, I recommend trying to set aside specific times to check your emails or social media accounts instead of constantly being on them throughout the day. Put your phone in your pocket or in your purse or wherever it needs to be, out of reach. Listen, there's nothing going on in the world that you need to know about right this minute. And if it's an emergency, somebody will call you or reach out to you independently, and you'll be able to take the appropriate action at that time. So try setting aside some specific time. By controlling your information intake, you're not only reducing potential stress triggers, but you're also freeing up mental space for more positive and productive thoughts. And live in that, just live in the present. That's so important, Life might sound like a grand concept, but it's a series of moments, Don't let overthinking steal them away from you. The essence of not overthinking lies in living in the present. It's about fully immersing yourself in the now, appreciating the moment, and not letting past regrets or future worries cloud your mind. Whether it's while you're eating, working, or spending time with loved ones, give your full attention to what you're doing. Not only will this help quiet your mind chatter, but it'll also enhance your experiences and relationships. That's one thing I admire about my 14-year-old daughter. She has this incredible ability when you approach her with a conversation or whether somebody else is talking to her. She could be in the middle of the most important thing to her that she's ever been engaged in. When you engage her in conversation, she immediately stops what she's doing, puts it down. She doesn't fiddle with the keyboard anymore or have a phone in her hand or anything like that. She stops, she gets calm as far as I can tell, and she just intently listens to what you have to say. And it's a lesson that I've learned from her about being appropriate in interacting with others. I love the way that she interacts with me when I talk to her. I have her full attention, and I know I do. She asks good questions, and she just pays attention to what I'm saying. That's so important. She is in the moment. She stops, lets it all go, gives you or whoever it is she's speaking with her complete focus. She entertains the ideas and thoughts that you're sharing with her, gives mindful responses, but she also has the ability to turn it right back on. She'll turn the chair around, get re-engaged in whatever it is she's doing. She builds games, game design, things like that. So drawing, artistic ability runs deep with her. So having that ability to be mindful and present in the current moment is a skill that can be developed over time. It's tough. But I love how some people just have that ability innately to focus on what it is you're saying or be intent on the interaction with a specific individual or subject to the point where that's where they are. And that's where they're going to be for that moment until they're ready to move back on or into what it was that they were working on before. And it takes practice. But what I'm thinking is, overthinking won't change the past or predict the future, right? It only robs you of the present moment. And I've said that a few times now. The only moment we truly have is the moment we're living in right now. We can't go change the past. We can't predict the future with any degree of certainty. Anything that's going to happen to us, things have already been set into motion. What we can do is control what's going on in the present moment, and that can structure an appropriate base for the good things that are coming our way. Through positive thought and positive interaction with others, you know what? We can build a life where we live in the present. And I think that the secret to a happy life isn't in having all the answers or in avoiding mistakes. It's in embracing the journey with all the ups and downs, the twists and turns. It's about learning, growing, and finding joy in the small things. So take a moment, breathe in, breathe out. Read your goal card as many times as you can, over and over and over. During moments when you have some free time, use the most powerful tool you have in your success toolbox, and that's your goal card. And I tell you what, you're human. You're not a machine programmed to churn out perfect outcomes. You can utilize the advice and recommendations that I make here daily to set yourself up for the best possible outcome. However, we are not perfect. Nobody's expecting you to be. Go out, take risks, take chances, and you know what? You may just find yourself in a beautiful life that you've created for yourself. A positive life full of possibilities and circumstances that will allow you to grow into the best you that you can be. There are billions of people on this planet, but you're special. There's something about you that only you can bring forth into the world. Only you can be you. Be the best you can be today, okay? Let's go out there and make today a great day. I care about you, I believe in you, and I know if anybody's worth it, you are. Hey, listen, I'll be back tomorrow with some really great stuff. Let's get rid of that overthinking crap today. Let's get out there and live in the present moment and build today into the best day it could ever possibly be. I'll talk to you tomorrow.